Have you ever had the one place you've always wanted to see? For me, it was the Amazon rainforest. But this wasn't just about taking something off my bucket list. I kept hearing about the record-breaking heat, the massive wildfires, and the thick smoke drifting over cities far from the rainforest. I wanted to see what was really happening, so I packed my bags, flew to Manaus, and spent 3 days deep in the jungle. What I saw was stunning, but also deeply worrying. Day 1 kicked off with a bumpy ride on a pickup truck down the banks of Rio Negro. The first thing I noticed there is that the water level was extremely low. The driver, Mr. Eduardo, explained to me how this area swings between extreme floods and severe droughts, and that recently it has been experiencing one of its worst droughts ever. Ironically, a tropical rainstorm was brewing in the distance, and as soon as we got into the boat, we got completely soaked before even setting foot in the jungle. A proper welcome into the Amazon rainforest. As we arrived at the lodge, I went to have a look around the place and had a chat with Eduardo, who told me a cool fact. That area was one of the filming locations for the movie Anaconda. And yes, that's exactly why the lodge is named after it. Thankfully, there were no giant killer snakes in sight, but it definitely added to the atmosphere of the surroundings. After lunch, we set out into the jungle to take in the local scenery. There I could see how far the water level had dropped. According to the locals, it was about 11 meters lower than usual. After sunset, we set out on a crocodile spotting expedition. Our torches sliced through the darkness, sweeping across the water in search of those eerie glowing eyes. But at first, spotting them was a real challenge. Though overall caiman crocodile populations remain high, localized extinctions are becoming increasingly common during severe droughts. As their habitats shrink, caimans are forced into smaller pools while they face starvation, dehydration, and even increased conflict with humans. These reptiles play a vital role in maintaining the Amazon's ecological balance, regulating animal populations and enriching the aquatic food chains through their waste. A significant decline in the numbers could unleash negative effects throughout the entire ecosystem. Day 2 started early. I was taken to a jungle survival crash course. Among other things, the guide showed me this tree which produces a resin that can be used to make fire. And he also told me where to find vines that contain drinkable water. He also raised some concerns about the growing number of trees affected by termites. However, some studies have found that termites, often regarded as pests, may actually play a vital role in helping tropical rainforests survive droughts. During those extended dry periods, termite activity increases, boosting key ecosystem functions like soil moisture retention and nutrient mixing, improving seedling survival and forest resilience. As we ventured deeper into the jungle, the guide led me to a remarkable tree. In the 1500s, Portuguese and French colonists were really captivated by its properties, both for its high-quality timber and the rich red dye it produced. These trees became one of the region's most prized natural resources and ultimately gave Brazil its name. Later on, we took a boat ride across the river to visit a local indigenous tribe who welcomed us with their traditional food. And then, they invited us into the longhouse, a sacred space where they hold important events and ceremonies. Although these natives strive to keep their traditions alive, they're on the front line of climate change, witnessing firsthand the Amazon's alarming ecological decline. In the last couple of years, the record-breaking droughts have devastated many indigenous communities like these, leaving them isolated as the rivers dry up, without access to food, clean water, or even medical care. Upon leaving the tribe, I was in for a real treat. I got to swim with the Amazon's pink river dolphins, or botos cor-de-rosa. According to the local folklore, legends state that they are able to shape-shift into humans and come out of the water at night to mingle with the locals. That's pretty cool, right? But you know what's not cool? During the 2023 drought, over 270 dolphins were found dead in just 2 lakes, victims of soaring water temperatures that reached over 40 degrees Celsius, hotter than their own body heat. These dolphins are more than just indicators of environmental health. They're often seen as sentinels of the Amazon. When they start to suffer, it's a sign that something much bigger has gone wrong. As the dolphins struggle to survive, they offer a stark warning. The Amazon is changing, and fast. The next day, we left the lodge and hit the road. We drove about 2 hours north of Manaus to Presidente Figueiredo, a region which is known for its stunning waterfalls with crystal clear waters perfect for swimming in. But what really blew my mind was the contrast. It was a total shift from what I had seen just a few miles down south. The day before, I was standing on cracked and exposed riverbeds, where the drought had left entire areas completely dry. And now, here I was, surrounded by an abundance of water, with powerful waterfalls crashing down like thunder. While one area is struggling with record low water levels, another seems to be almost unchanged. However, the impact of the drought was impossible to ignore. Vast stretches of rock and dry riverbed, which would typically be underwater, lay bare and exposed to the sun. It was a stark and unsettling sight. Beyond the majestic landscape, what stuck with me the most were the people. The Amazon isn't just some remote part of the world. It's home to millions of people who depend on these rivers to make a living. But with water levels this low, even getting around is a struggle. For indigenous and riverside communities, it's even worse. Where boats cannot pass, entire villages get cut off, and basic needs like water to shower or access to a hospital become nearly impossible to meet. We know climate change is real, and we know ecosystems around the world are under serious threats. What's happening in the Amazon isn't an isolated crisis, it's part of a much bigger picture. The Amazon is one of several key biomes that help regulate the planet's climate. If we let it die, we're all gonna feel the impact. If the world doesn't act quickly to reduce fossil fuel use and halt deforestation, extreme events like this will become far more frequent. But there's still time to turn things around. However, that's gonna take serious action with the support from international collaboration. That means better government policies, cracking down on illegal deforestation, and making sure the people who live there are the ones leading the way to a better, sustainable future. We must listen to the warnings of science, protect the forest, and invest in sustainable agriculture. The question is not whether we have the knowledge to act, it's whether we have the will to do the right thing. And that's why I made this trip, to experience it for myself, to document it, and to share it with you. Hearing about it on the news is one thing, but witnessing the consequences in person was something else entirely. It made the scale of the crisis feel incredibly real. If we don't start paying more attention, we might lose one of the most incredible places on the planet.